Michael called me at 3 a.m. in the morning and he said, Stephanie, yes, Michael, I know you already have the choir for Can You Feel It, but can you also make sure you have a children's choir of every race, creed, and color? And I said, yes, Michael, whatever you ask, I will make happen for you. And girl, I didn't go to sleep for 2 days because I had to have that total choir with the children of every race, creed, and color there in the studio in a day and a half. So within a day and a half, I had the choir, went in there, and he's a pro. He's there early because this was the Triumph album. All the Jacksons were there, Randy and Michael's sitting here and I'm sitting here. We're like this. This is Michael and this is me. So when I'm in my professional job mode, that's what I am. I'm here. Ask me what you need and I will make it happen. So when you hear that high voice on Can You Feel It, that's me.
Today's guest is a living legend, a 5-time Grammy participating award winner, vocal powerhouse, producer, author, and the woman behind the voices of one of the most anticipated films now in the theaters worldwide, Michael Jackson Biopic. Michael is now in theaters. With a career spanning more than 5 decades?
5 decades, darling.
Okay.
Yes.
With a career spanning more than 5 decades, she has performed at the White House. Mm-hmm. And even on the Ed Sullivan Show, at the Grammys and the Oscars, and alongside icons like Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Quincy Jones, and Michael Jackson himself. She is founder of Spruill House Music, a vocal coach who has shaped generations of artists and women whose purpose is rooted in God and art. Welcome to Unboxed and Fearless, Stephanie Spruill. It is such a pleasure to connect with you again. So we initially met on the red carpet at the Hoppa Awards. And it was amazing just to hear your story. So we'll get right into it.
There you go.
But we obviously know that you're connected with the movie with Michael that's out in the theaters now and it's doing so well. So I'm so excited to hear all about it. Okay. But before you even touched set and before you even connected with Michael, we have to start off at the beginning. Right? Yes. So where did you grow up and what inspired you to go on this path?
As a performer, because that's what I am first, a performer, singer, musician, and then vocal coach, artist developer.
I love it.
Well, it started in Los Angeles. You cross the street and you're in Compton, okay? I studied cello in school. I was in the orchestra. And in church, I was in the choir. So that's how I learned about teamwork. And the acronym is Together, Everyone Achieves More. So I saw as a team, it's great when you're singing parts. I just loved that. So I had an affinity for singing going into the background session work. Fast forward, I get a scholarship in music, and then I attend the Eddie Cantor Foundation of Creative Talent, and then I'm part of the Young Saints Entertainment School. And that's when I performed at the White House, and I've performed at the White House on three different administrations, and on to doing a lot of TV, movies, and working with Danny Kaye. So I was able to see someone of his caliber, how to do it correctly, how to be produced and how to produce, because that's what he was as well. So I said, oh, I want to be like him when I grow up, right? Fast forward, then I started touring. But you have to understand, there was always jazz playing in the Spruill household because my mother and father, my mother played piano, my father played trumpet, and all of us played a classical instrument. I played cello, my brother played viola, my other brother played piano, my other brother played trumpet. So we had a chamber orchestra in the hood, you know what I'm saying? So it was wonderful growing up in a musical family. Then I started doing my first major session job was at A&M records and for old records. And Jerry Peters, who wrote You Got Me Going in Circles, he called me because I was part of his group, The Reason Why. And so I started doing sessions there, and Lou Adler heard me, saw how I groove when I'm behind the mic. I didn't move from the mic, but I would give you my style, right? And the energy. And he says, gosh, you would be great for David T. Walker. Hence me going on the road with David T. Walker. That's when I met the incredible musicians like Harvey Mason Sr. and Clarence McDonald and all the best musicians in the world. And I really, when you don't know the game, you don't play it. So all I was doing was just being Stephanie. And it was all about talent. And it wasn't all about who I can, be around and everything. I was just following the footsteps that God had ordered for me. And from there, they started calling me for various sessions, and that major sessions at Motown. That's when I started playing tambourine, because Harvey Mason showed me a few licks. And I said, okay, I can do that. And then that's when I played on Dancing Machine for the Jacksons. I played tambourine for Dancing Machine. And then on various records, for all the artists over there at Motown. And then from there, it was word of mouth. I did Donald Byrd, Stepping Into Tomorrow, the Color to a Voice. See, some people looked at me as a musician, percussionist, like at Motown, and other labels, saw me as a singer. So I had two things going. One, as a musician, I'd be with Ray Park or somebody doing a sweetening session over here, and then I'd go do some vocals over here. So it was an amazing transition from being from the Young Saints into this incredible business we call show business, because it's a business. It's show for 2 hours, 22 hours, you're handling your business.
I love it. So, I am born and raised in Detroit, Motown.
In Detroit, there you go.
So when I hear that you were in that environment, I just went to the Gordy Mansion maybe a few years ago.
Okay.
So just to see the history, they still have pictures up of some of the performers and people that brace the area and the mansion. Can you tell me, how was it being around the icon Berry Gordy?
Wow. He told me when I was performing for one of, it was somewhere I was performing, and for his daughters, his nieces, they call it Bowling for Gordy, for Fuller. And Iris Gordy, she has it every year. And they chose me to be the entertainment. And he says, oh, my goodness, this girl reminds me of Eartha Kitt. And what was the other one? Not Lena Horne, but Eartha Kitt and Sarah Vaughan. I love her energy, like Sarah Vaughan, real cool. And then that fiery energy as, Eartha Kitt when she starts dancing on stage. So for him to tell me that and come up to me and say, Stephanie, never stop. Keep performing. That's what I remember from Berry Gordy. Not only just being at Motown, when Motown moved from Detroit to Los Angeles to Hollywood, just to have him tell me how great I was. That was awesome. So I love him, and I love the things I've learned from him. And as I watched all of his artists and producers, because a good friend of mine, Mickey Stevenson, who wrote Dancing in the Street, and all these major hits, iconic hits, and hanging out with Smokey and knowing Smokey, and, all of it, just being able to, how can I say, communicate. And then they respect and love my artistry. That's what I love about being an artist and being among the creatives, because that's what I am. I'm a true creative. And so to be around creatives like myself and those people I looked up to for so many years, it's a blessing.
That must have been life-changing.
Yes.
So on your journey, who would you say was the most impactful, the person who really gave you that advice that really changed your mindset, or was just a game changer for you?
Oh, there's so many.
I'm sure.
Yeah, there's
sure.
so many, because Spanish is my second language. So when I toured with Julio Iglesias, to see how you can do it first class. That's how I learned about first class. And then to be, the funk of Motown and the professionalism of both. You see, I learned so much from so many people. I just can't say one. Nancy Wilson, oh my God, what a class act. I learned from her. I just, so many people, so many.
Is there a point in your journey that was life-changing for you, like a particular performance, a particular song that was just life-changing for your career?
Well, what was life-changing when I was able to just be in my truth, to go out there and be the performer, opposed to being behind the performers. That's incredible because I'm into production. I'm an entertainer. So I love to be on stage and performing, for the world in different languages. And so when you come to see Stephanie Spruill, you're on a magic carpet ride because you don't know what you're going to get. And I give him praise and I get funky and then I get jazz because I love jazz and classical because I love classical. So I have, 5.5 octave range. All these things that I've learned, I was able to use being in my truth as a solo artist. That's what I love. I can do it all. Play my tambourine, do everything on stage I choose to do, and be comedic and all of those things that I love to do. My one-woman show. That's when you come see Miss Stephanie.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
So obviously you've been on this journey for over 5 decades.
Oh,
so
yeah.
You've learned a lot. You've witnessed a lot.
Yes.
You've seen all of the different, I would say maybe phases, people getting, signed and genres of music being
Yes.
popular and then not.
Yes.
So there's a lot of trends that are coming and going. But what do you think about this upcoming generation, the people that are now being found on social media, where when you were, on your journey years ago, you had to put so much work into you, before you launched your career. What do you think about people that are being found on social media overnight?
Oh, so when you sit and eat a sandwich or pet your cat and then you get 1 million clicks, I don't know about that, child. But the influencer generation, God bless you guys, because you guys are taking advantage of the time you're in because it's going to end, because it's all about longevity. That's why I wrote the book, 17 Points to Longevity in Show Business. To me, that's not show business. However, I must give you guys kudos because you got to stay up all day and all night and keep posting. I mean, I'm not into that. Let me just get on stage. Let me go and write a song. Let me teach you how to do it correctly. Come, learn from Miss Stephanie. Old school meets new school, and together we can go and have major success. But you influencers, God bless you, because that's your time. It's your time for that. But nothing beats preparation. Nothing beats education. Nothing beats showing up and showing out, showing the people what you can really do, and not be an AI and get all these clicks when you can go up there and sing your heart out, right? Perform for the people. They can see you live, not a voiceover and not lip singing. You're actually singing the song. With lyrics, with a story, and you're writing your story, right? And then you're bringing it to the world. So what I can say is enjoy it while you guys can.
That's honest. But you can only speak from your experience, and you are seasoned in the career. So it's important to understand the hard work that you put in and then how it is now currently in 2026,
Right.
where people are just, being able to make up a song in their bedroom. And then now we see them on television and they're trending and so it's just very different. It's a very different dynamic.
That's what I'm saying. And it's a different time right now.
It is.
It's so quick. You guys have 30 seconds, 15 seconds. You guys don't have the bandwidth to sit and listen to a great jazz song, to a great opera, aria, things with class. You don't have the time because you don't have the bandwidth. Everything is quick. And that's the sign of the times. God bless you guys. Enjoy it while you can, because that will change. Like I said, that's the last of my 17 points. That's the last chapter. It's trends. Trends come and go. But, what gives you longevity is your, how can I say, your passion for your art. Not just a fleeting moment. It's the passion for the art. So enjoy.
So please, you mentioned your book. Please tell us, what was your mindset behind this? Did you feel like this was a tool for artists that they really needed to understand the longevity of being in this entertainment field?
17 points. It starts with personal, career, and financial. Okay. Personally, you have to know. And I say my first principle is confidence, and then focus and emotional well-being, physical well-being, and vocal training. And then you get into the career points, versatility, business savvy, skills, all the things you need to do in order to be successful in your career. And then the financial. When you start making the money, that's why a lot of people lose their money, because they're not financially savvy. But you can learn that in the 17 points of longevity in show business. And the reason I wrote it, because I saw a paradigm shift in the industry. There was no more artist development in the record companies. Sony didn't have it anymore. Even Motown didn't have it anymore, which Motown was the top of the line as far as, having Charlie Atkins and all these different professional people teach you how to walk, how to sing, how to dance, all these things. No, they don't have that anymore. They want you to go take your money and come see someone like Miss Stephanie. Hence, that's when I opened my School of Voice and Artist Development. I'm an artist developer. I teach interpersonal skills, how you can learn how to navigate this industry we call show business.
So that was one of the other discussions we had on the red carpet. And at that same time, I met Megan Good. And you told me that was also someone you worked with.
Yeah.
Now, she's amazing. She's beautiful,
phenomenal,
talented. Who are some other people that you've worked with over the years? With
Megan Good, like you mentioned, one of my students, Sinbad. He was redoing his show, and he wanted to integrate singing and his drumming. He's a drummer also into the show. So I helped him for several years. Plus, I taught his children. Rebecca Cruz, Terry Cruz, his wife, and children are my students. LaToya Jackson was my student. Like I said, Giuliano is my student. I have students from all over the world, from Moscow, Korea, Japan, Mexico, Spain, China, everywhere on the planet, Africa, have come to me to learn not only how to sing, but interpersonal skills to navigate this industry. So God has given me a gift to phonetically, because I have I have an affinity for languages. I don't care what language it is. I can teach you how to sing in English, whatever your language is. I go into the person and bring out what they need to be brought out. So, and then I work on what they need to be worked on phonetically in order for them to sing in English. So a lot of people all over the world, major stars, Dan Balan from Romania, and Igor Desyennikov from Russia, and all these different people come to me, Juan Gabriel, and just a lot of great artists have come to me for me to either work on their albums or to help them sing in English if they want to do their English albums.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a gift.
It's so much to learn from you. But let's transition to Michael Jackson, the man himself. You've worked with Michael, and he's, admired from people all around the world.
Yes.
I grew up as a Michael Jackson fan.
Of course.
And so many people really respect and admired his, tenacity and just his consistency and attention to detail.
Well, he had a strong work ethic.
Could you please tell us? We could see him obviously performing on a stage, but you knew him differently. What did that look like?
Well, he never stopped. He was a perfectionist. And when I worked with him, like I said, Dancing Machine, I did tambourine, and he was young then. And then on the Triumph album, A Place Hotel, as they said, Heartbreak Hotel, Quincy had me do, the word, ooh, that's me, or, can you feel it? I'm the one who's doing the high soprano. So Michael called me at 3 a.m. in the morning. Oftentimes, that's when he awakened with these epiphanies to either write or call one of his major producers or artists that he's working with. And he called me at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he said, Stephanie, of course, I set up like a board. Yes, Michael. I know you already have the choir for Can You Feel It, but can you also make sure you have a children's choir of every race, creed, and color? And I said, yes, Michael, whatever you ask is I will make happen for you. And girl, I didn't go to sleep for 2 days because I had to have that total choir with the children of every race, creed, and color there in the studio in a day and a half. So that morning, immediately I called the unions, got the children in because I had already put together the adult choir. So within a day and a half, I had the choir, went in there, and he's a pro. He's there early. And because this was the Triumph album, all the Jacksons were there, Randy and all of them, several of them were there. And Michael's sitting here, and I'm sitting here. We're like this. This is Michael, and this is me. And I'm to let you know that I'm also a fan of Michael Jackson's, right? But when you have I know how to compartmentalize. So when I'm in my professional job mode, that's what I am. I'm here. Ask me what you need, and I will make it happen. Because nobody else can make it happen like I can. So he says, you know what, Stephanie, as I was directing the choir for Can You Feel It? He says, I love your soprano voice because he's a high frequency. Michael is a very high frequency. And I'm also a high frequency, but this guy is beyond, beyond because he's just a spirit from the Lord. I mean, he's such a spirit. Anyway, so he would say, I love your high frequency. So can you sing the soprano on, Can You Feel It, which I was doing anyway in the choir as I was directing. And he says, I want you to do it by yourself because I want to quadruple your voice. So when you hear that high voice on Can You Feel It, that's me because he quadrupled my voice. And when he was mixing, when you hear that punch on the Can You Feel It?
Wow.
That's Stephanie Spruill. So I'm just blessed that he heard me, he saw me, and he used my creative energy. And I was there to help him realize and things come to fruition through me, from him. It was just an amazing moment in time for me. And then to be called to do the Michael biopic. Okay.
Yeah.
That was, how do you say, a moment in time. It was divine intervention. That's all I have to say. It's like he says, okay, I want Stephanie on this project. I want my nephew Jafar on this project. I want Giuliano Valdi on this project. It was handpicked. It was handpicked by, of course, the great producer who is Graham King, and the phenomenal director, Antoine Fuqua. Training Day Fuqua, okay? Yes. So I was blessed to be amongst, when I was with Michael or on set, the creme de la creme.
That's amazing. So tell me, what did that look like for you? So you worked with the young Michael in the movie. Tell me about that experience because it sounds like he had already been training and studying Michael's music and his dance and
Yes, yes. Well, there were great choreographers, Rich and Tone, on the movie, and they've done all the plays around the country. And so they were getting ready to do the play in New York, and they wanted Giuliano for the play because he's been studying Michael Jackson since he was 3. His grandmother put, I think, the Bad video on, and he sat in that room and just through osmosis. And then next thing he knew, he was selling tickets to his parents, giving them play tickets and say, I want you to see me. They had never seen him do it. And when his mother saw him do Michael Jackson's entire Bad video, and I think it was Bad, don't quote me, they were like blown away. So he's been on a lot of, YouTubes and stuff like that, doing it as a little baby. Well, when they brought him to me, because they knew how can I say, the agent, I worked with her daughter on a lot of stuff, Victoria and Sanai, yeah. I worked with her a lot. So she loved the way I worked with her daughter. So she says, I have a client, Giuliano. I need him to work with you. And that's why I was getting him ready for the play. Then I get a call, halt on the play. They want him for the movie. Can we submit your name? And I said, for sure, not knowing it was going to be 1.11 billion sales in not even a month. Okay. But anyway, it was just a blessing. So I trained him for a long time to be Michael for this Broadway play. And then when we got the call for him to be on the movie, I trained him some more to be Michael. And when the producer, Graham King, called me, so tell me what you can do to bring this to fruition, bring Giuliano to be Michael. I said, Mr. King, there's only one Michael Jackson. But I will give you all the nuances. I will give you the pitch, the tone, the soul, the styling, the timing. He says, you're hired. Plus, I worked with Michael Jackson, okay? So, yeah, and he hired me right on the spot, and the rest is her story.
So what are your thoughts about the movie? Like, obviously, you were able to see it while it was actually in process.
Yes.
And now that you can sit and relax and watch the film with everyone else, how do you feel about the movie?
Wow,
Did you feel like it captured Michael
I've seen
well?
it 4 times. Okay,
As
from
you
the screening to the to the premiere to the and I'm getting ready to take my granddaughters to see it. It's a masterpiece because they didn't get caught up in the minutia. They showed the artistry of Michael, the Michael Jackson. They showed that he was a strong Black man. They showed he changed the face of music when he's the first African-American artist to be on MTV. They showed his work ethic. They showed him like speaking meditative, strong, powerful messages to himself before he went on stage. They showed him praying. Don't be afraid to pray, baby. Be connected. Know who you are and whose you are. And I don't care if you turn yourself into a pretzel. Whatever you do, find your center. Find out who you are, And Michael knew who he was. Even with all the stuff that was coming up against him, he was still showing up, writing great songs. And it showed after the fire, the Pepsi commercial, he served. He took the majority of his money and donated it. People don't know about that because he wasn't going around trying to get, kudos for everything. His kudos are in when he writes an earth song. What about us? We are the world. All these incredible songs that help our planet. He was on another high frequency than the rest of the world, even though they tried to bring him down. And when he built Neverland, that was for the kids. That was for injured kids passing over, kids dealing with cancer, burn victims. It was for the kids because he wasn't able to be a child. you know. However, through that, not being able to be a child, wow, look at what we got. We received the Michael Jackson. So what do I feel about the biopic of Michael Jackson? It's a masterpiece, and how to get to it, go through it to get to it. And that's how I feel, like a phoenix coming out of the fire. Because when I lost my home in the Altadena fire, during the time I was doing on set, working on the Michael Jackson movie. I lost my home, my recording studio, all my accolades, all my golden platinum albums, everything that I collected all over the world, you know, the 7 continents that I've traveled 7 times. You know, but, you know, God is restoring because I'm rebuilding right now. We're 50% built. So we're going to be in our new dream home once again. So you never know what God has for you. However, what gave me solitude, what gave me peace, I was able to be in my authenticity, and my purpose was when I was doing Michael biopic, being on the set.
Wow. How did that affect you mentally?
What?
The fires.
The
It was
fire?
very
It
devastating
was devastating. I'm not going to
for the
lie. It was
community.
devastating. That's why I believe in when I have in my book where it says personal points, emotional well-being is very important. I think everyone should have a therapist so you can talk through the challenges and the good, bad, and the ugly. You have someone who is listening. Because that's why I say my first point is confidence. And my second principle is focus. We have to stay focused on what is important in life. I found out my home that we had just remodeled. You know, my recording studio with all my golden platinum, all my awards, my NAACP awards, my Grammy participation awards, all of the awards that I have garnered over the years that I've been in this industry. My school, all of my wares, my books, my everything, you know, because I was preparing for my TED Talk. I mean, just all of my music, because it was recording studios as well. So all of my equipment, all of my instruments. So of course, it's devastating. But behind every cloud, there's a silver lining. And I'm living proof that you can go through it to get to it. And that's what you're going to do. You're not going to give up, give out, or give in. And that's what Michael did. He didn't give up, didn't give out, and give in until it was his time to go home. I have a long time to be here. It's all about longevity. Staying focused on your vision, not the vision somebody else has for you, but the vision that God has put on your heart to come to fruition. So I have this, that's why I'm serving. I'm passing everything that I've learned thus far in this industry, what was in the studio or in my home or whatever. I'm passing all that forward with my ideas, with my creativity, with my passion for this industry, because it's a beautiful industry. It really is. It's a beautiful industry.
Wow. That is just the epitome of resilience.
Resilience. Oh, yeah, baby. I'm a phoenix coming out of the fire. Yes, I really know what that means now. You know, when you see that beautiful lotus and then underneath it is like muck and mire, you know, but the lotus is just floating beautifully. You know, that stuff happens in life.
You're right about that. And not only did you lose your home and your possessions and everything that you've, collected over the years from your
Yes.
career, you lost your brother.
Everything. Yeah. And then within 3 months, my brother passed. He had a battle for 25 years of prostate cancer. And God took him home. And that was difficult because I said, wow, I lost everything, my home, my recording studio, all of my wares, my couture, it's like I had to start from scratch. But I didn't start from scratch here and here, because that's where my passion lies, here. And the memories lie here, you see, so I can pass it forward. But for my brother, he's still with us. There were 9 of us. I'm from a family like Michael Jackson of 9, 6 boys and 3 girls. Same as the Jacksons. And when you have a big family and a large African-American family, and the parents that believed in, I have to teach you here so you don't go out there and not know what to do.
Right.
You see, they taught us, okay? and different ways. And I thank my mother, because my mother, she wasn't only an income tax consultant, notary public, and a community activist. She was a poet herself, So, and my father was a diesel mechanic, hardworking brother, worked, working 9 to 5, like Dolly Parton. I did that record as well.
Oh, wow.
I got a Grammy participated for 9 to 5 for Donna Summer. Beep, beep. Hey,
Wow.
toot, toot. Bad Girls. And Flashdance, Irene Cara. I got, she won a Grammy and an Academy Award. So I got awards for that. And also Gloria Gaynor, I Will Survive. And the other one, so many, right?
That
Yeah.
is...
So I was blessed to work on so many records with so many great producers like Quincy Jones and Gino Vanelli. I just want to stop. I composed those backgrounds because I'm a vocal arranger as well. So being a vocal contractor, vocal arranger, that helped me. Sometimes you can make more money behind the scenes than you can in front, because you learn what to do with your money and what not to do. So you watch them, they didn't work it right, or they worked it. So I'm going to do it like this particular superstar, So I learned a lot by being behind superstars. So, God is good. That's all I got to say. And Natasha, I am so blessed to have you ask these wonderful questions of me.
Thank you.
From health to Hollywood, these are conversations that inspire, empower, and transform. I'm Dr. Natasha Weems, and this is Unboxed and Fearless. Stay tuned for part 2.